Hello, guys. So today we're going to go over the final exam review. I know some of you guys want to get an early start, so I'm going to do this right now. I got about 31 questions. I think 31 was the cutoff. And I believe the finals like 33 to 35 questions. So I think 31 is pretty good. This is going to be very similar to what you'll see on the final exam. Of course, the numbers are changed, but it's going to be similar problems. Um, some of you guys I might not see because due to the start testing, so that's why I'm recording this video as well. Now, I don't have too much room, right? So I'm going to do a lot of the stuff over here off to the side, just to let you guys know. Okay, so right here, product of complex numbers. So I'm just going to go ahead and start over here. So we have 8 minus 4i multiplied by 7 plus 5i. So just very similar to what we would have done if we were kind of distributing. So we're going to have 8 times 7, which gives us 56. 8 times 5, which gives us 40, plus the I. Negative 4 times 7 is negative 28, and of course the I is there. Negative 4 times 5 gives us a negative 20, and then we have I squared. Okay, so then we have this 28, I'm sorry, 40 minus 28 would give us 12. Um, Here's where we have to remember what I squared is. I squared actually is just negative 1. So this is like saying negative 1 times negative 20, which would give us a positive 20. And then, so positive 20 and 56 gives us a 76. I remember the I always comes at the end. So just be sure that you're doing that. Okay. Next one, completing the square. So this is the way I like to do it. I like to move the outside number, this number by itself, to the other side. Okay, and what this is going to do is this is going to leave a blank here. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to complete the square, and I usually do it with a little square here, so that way I know that I'm doing this to both sides. And what do I do is I always get half of this number. So half of this number is negative 1. That's what I'm going to do to both sides. Okay, so right here, this becomes 24 plus 1, which is 25. Okay, then this becomes, once I complete this, once I do this step, I don't need to like factor. I already know my answers right here, these two. So it'd be x minus 1 squared, right? So this is 1 squared. And then I can kind of just solve for x now by taking the square root to both sides. Gives me a positive 5 and a negative 5. Whoops. That was not supposed to be a 1. That's supposed to be a negative 5. Right, so I take the square root. I did not write the step, but I take the square root to both sides, which gives me x minus 1 is plus 5 or negative 5. And then I'm going to add 1, and my answers will be 6 and negative 4, which are this one. Okay. Right here it says a a ball is dropped from a cliff at 368 feet. Find the distance s in feet that it falls in t seconds given by the formula. Uh, how many seconds to the tenths will it take for the ball to hit the ground? Oh, okay, so this is pretty much just you plug this in right here and you kind of solve for it. Okay, so I'm gonna need a calculator. All right, so I'm kind of running out of room here, but I'm gonna go 368 is equal to 16 t squared. So I'm gonna divide by 16 to both sides. Calculate it out. 368 divided by 16 is 23. And that's t squared. And then I'm just going to take the square root of that. Take the square root of both sides. Map, map. And I get roughly 4.7958. A lot of decimals. But it tells us round to the nearest. So I'm going to go to this place. So I see this is a 9. So I'm going to go 4.8. And that is 9. Okay. This is also kind of like another substitution problem. So you're inputting -3 for x. So we have 3 times -3 minus 1, which would be -9 minus 1, which would be -10, which is letter B. Right here it says find the average rate of change. So you want to do your rise and your run. So how much does it go up? Right, so this is actually kind of going up like towards the middle. How much does it run? So this is, I believe, 25 miles, and then it's over what, 5 hours. So that would really reduce to 5/1 miles per hour. So that's what it's. Okay. Number 6. It looks like we're gonna need a to use Desmos. So I think I have that right here. Nope. Right here. Nope. Okay. Let me type in Desmos. I'm gonna do a little split screen for us. Uh, I really like Desmos, guys. I know you guys know this. I'm always raving about it. Oh, I don't know why it doesn't let me do the split screen. Okay. All right. Well, either way, computer's running a little slow, so let's see if it. Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. We can go right here. I can make this one a little smaller. Uh, there we go. There we go. Now it's all coming together. So it says our original is y equals x to the power of 2. Right, so we have this function. Um, and then it says our new one would be parentheses x minus 2 to the power of 2. So what happens? So what are we looking at? We're looking at from the red to the blue. And if you notice from the red to the blue, it's a shift to the right. So we're shifting to the right, and we're going about 2 units, right? Because that's the number that's right here, 2 units. So 2 units to the right. Okay. Alrighty then. Right here, f of g of 3. Okay. So this has like quite a bit of working parts. So by saying all of this is going to get inputted into this x. Okay. However, before we input all of that, we have to input a 3 into this. So it's kind of like a lot of little working parts. So let us first input our 3. Okay. So we're going to input our 3 into our x. Okay, so we have 2 of them. -3, 3 squared, minus 7 times 3. So this is -3 times 9. This is -27, -21 plus 5. This is -49. Nope, 48, 5. And then this would be -43. So we're not done. So that was, we plugged in 3 for this. I said that we had to plug all this in into our f, right? So now that we know what g is equivalent to, we're going to plug that in. Now we're going to have negative 8 times negative 43 plus 5. A negative times a negative is a positive. And then we get 43 times 8 is 344. So this would be 340. Where is it? Can't see it. Oh, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Oh my God. Okay. So synthetic division. Next one. Synthetic division. First thing you want to remember in this is that you want to have every term accounted for. Okay. So what does that mean? That means if I have an x to the power of 3, I should have 4 terms. Notice I only have 3. Whoops. I only have 3. Why should I have 4 terms? Because you're supposed to have x to the 3, x to the 2, and x, and then a number by itself. It always goes like that. So in this case, I don't. So I have to rewrite this as of I do. So what do? I plug in a plus 0. Okay? Very important that we keep that step. Okay. Now we're dividing by x plus 2. Now we could do synthetic division. And to do synthetic division, we use our coefficients. 1, -1, 0, and 7. See, this is why it's very important that we include this 0, because if not, we would be missing a term. Okay. So then we kind of solve for x here. So x plus 2 equals 0. So x would be -2. And that's what we're going to do. We always bring down the 1, multiply -2, add, multiply, positive 6, add, multiply, 12, add, and we get a total. So how do we rewrite this? Well, we rewrite this by going 1 less than the original. So the original is x to the 3. This would be 1x squared minus 3x plus 6 with a remainder of 5. Okay, so we have a 5 remainder, and then we just put the remainder over our original divisor. 2. My bad. This should be negative, as you were. It should be negative. So we have 1 minus, nope, not this one. Nope. Looks like it's going, nope. Says that right there. Next one. F of x 4 to the power of x, find f of 3. Oh, okay, so this is another plug and play. So you're just going to go 4 or 3. That 4 times 4 times 4. I believe it's 64, but I'm going to do it. So 4 times 4 times 4. So 64. All right, my favorite ones. My favorite ones right here. So this one is if you invested $5,000, $5,789 for 9 years at 5% compounded quarterly. So remember, quarterly means 4 times. What would your amount be? So you would go 5,789 times 1 plus. It's always 1 plus. It's our interest rate. So this case would be 0.05. And put it in decimal. Over the amount of times you go compound it. So 4. And then you raise it to the amount of years, which in this case is 9. And then you multiply by the compound. So I actually going to use my graphing calculator for this one because cell phone calculator probably won't be able to I always struggle with my cell phone calculator to do like exponents, right? So I'm just gonna use the graphing calculator. But if it was to ever turn on, it's loading. So right here, I mean you can multiply this. This is 36. Well, this is gonna be a little bit difficult. It's best to type all this in. Um, I hope it doesn't die on me. I haven't charged it in a while. Lot of dead space. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it's gonna die on me. That's why it's taking forever to load. Let me just plug this bad boy in. Okay, so 5,789 parentheses 1 plus 0.05 over 4, all raised to the power of 36. And I get $9,053.67, which is letter C. Okay. Convert, rewrite in logarithmic form. All right. So this one, if you guys remember the little cycle that we kind of created in class, it goes bottom and then right. So that means the log of 10 of 10,000 equals 4. Log of 10, that's the first and the third number equals the middle number. Right? So first and last equals the middle. So that would be right here. Use the change the base rule to find the logarithm to four decimals. Okay, so uh, we could actually type this in the calculator. However, they want us to use the rule, the log base rule. So that log base rule, if you guys remember, I'm going to kind of rewrite this. Was this? So I don't. Was this? Remember, I told you guys that you could do this just in case you don't know how to put the little 7 on your calculator. All you have to do is go log of the parentheses divided by log of the little, and that's going to be the same. If you type in log of 3, well, actually, my calculator has both. So I get 0.564575. But if you do or like regular log, I guess 10, we divide it by log of, because my Inspire automatically does it like space. But if you have a regular calculator, you just do these two, and you're still gonna get the same answer. Which is right here, the graph, blah, 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 use the graph to factor f. Okay, so we're using this graph, so they already give us a graph, to find our factors. So our factors are wherever it crosses the x. It crosses right here, bab. Crosses right here, it crosses right here. So we have x equals to -4. We have x equals to -1. And then we have x equals to 1. So whenever it asks you to make them into factors, all you do is you just bring the number to the other side where the x is. So if it's a -4, +4, -1, it becomes a +1. And our answer would be letter B. Okay. Whoa, wait a second. Oh, yeah, I didn't see this right there. I was like, C is the same answer, but I didn't see that. See right there, they're trying to throw you off. Sneaky right there. It's sneaky. So be careful. They all look the same. So. Next one. Oh, same concept. Same concept. So we have factor. So we have x equals -3, x equals -1, equals x equals 1, and then x equals. So that means and so it's pretty much the opposite. So the negative becomes a positive, negative becomes a positive, positive becomes a negative, positive becomes a negative. Right? So it looks like it's B again. Let me make sure. Okay, that's it. Now on your test, guys, be careful. Remember that sometimes we have what are called bounce effects. So like this one over here on this graph. This would be an x-intercept, but remember, when it hits the point and bounces up, it counts twice. So you would actually have to do like this little x, it would be like x equals 2. You would have to write it 2 times, okay? Okay. And then we also have the wiggle effect with comfort. Right? So just remember those. Don't forget those. And just in case you guys want to see what it looks like, the wiggle effect kind of looks like this, where it hits the point and it kind of does a snake type of deal like this. So it kind of like wiggles around. This would count for triple. So like let's say this was x equals 3, right? So you would write x equals 3, x equals 3, x equals 3. So you would have it 3 times. And that's known as the triple effect or the wiggle effect. That's what we called it in my class. So that this root actually counts for 3. Of course, over here, if this is x equals 2, right? You would, since it bounces off this point to bounce off, you have to count. Remember those little special cases. And now, do I think you get one of these? Probably not. They're gonna be look more like these right here. But you never know. You never know. So I just wanted to give you guys a little FYI. All right, right here, graph 3x to the power 3. So luckily for us, we still have decimals. So 3x to the power of 3. And there we go. Look, this is like the wiggle effect that I was just talking about. Look, ooh, perfect example. So like this, you notice we only see one point, but this one point would count for 3 times, right? And it makes sense because it's a degree of 3. Okay, so yeah, good thing that we have this. So which one does this look like, man? They all kind of look the same. Well, no, B's actually, whoa, wait. D's shifted up. D's going opposite direction. So is C. It's gonna be the direction of this line right here, on the right hand side. Okay. Another one, graphing. Okay. So let us x to the power of 4 minus 3. All right, so that one, not so bad, not so bad. Another graphing one. Man, I guess there's gonna be quite a bit of graphing on that test. So what do we got? We got -1 divided by 3. Oops, equals 2. Man, what is with me? All right, so now this one, We know it's not B. That's for sure. Okay. So we got to be a little bit more careful. So A, C, and D all kind of look the same. Let's see, it's going through -2. So it's going through -2. This is not too sure about going through -2. Okay. Then we have a y-intercept of -2.6. So it's not this one, because that y-intercept doesn't exist. And it's not this one because this is less than 1. So it's got to be A. Process of eliminating. All right, so this is kind of like what we were doing this past week, right? So we break these up. So notice these two are being multiplied. So that means we would break those up into an addition problem. Okay. These two are also being multiplied, so that would also be an addition problem. However, these two are being divided by these. I'm sorry, these two are being divided by these two, so that means there's got to be a minus. Now we have to bring down the the exponents. Log bm, log e, minus 3 log n. And then this one would be, I forget, plus 2 log b. And then we have to remember that log b, these two are the same. They kind of cancel. And I think we are now done. Would just be, we're just going to I'm rewriting it as 2, which would be A. Okay, so far so good. Right here, again, if you guys remember the little cycle, go down under and then over, which would be x squared equals 25. Take the square root of both sides, and you get x equals 5. Here's another 2 questions, right? So right here, I'm just going to kind of set up the equations. So we got 3622. Then we're going to go 1 plus the percentage, right? So 0.046 over quarterly, which means 4, and then for 11 years times 4. Right? Put that in the calculator. Number 21 is almost identical to this, right? Our interest rate is 4%, and it's compounded also quarterly. So, man, quarterly is like the way to go. And then it's done 4 years. Man, this one just had nothing much of a bunch of fours in it. Okay, and then we just kind of type that into our calculator, and we're able to get our answer, right? So the idea is to remember the setups, and once you get the setups down, everything else you just kind of plug and play, and everything should be good. Raised to the power of 44. So I get for this one I get 5990.28. And then I'm for the next one, I'm gonna do the same exact thing. And I get, give me a second, 4 times 4 is 16. And I get 10, 5, 5, 3, 2. So then this one would be letter D, and this one would be probably C. Yeah, 5, 5, 3, 2. I guess my calculator's not doesn't is rounding to the first decimal place. So yeah, but that's probably, I mean, that's gotta be the answer. Um, Next one. Okay, so this one's just another plug and play. So you're plugging in -2. You're gonna have 166 to the power. Now on these, I think they want you to kind of remember the laws of exponent, right? However, you should be able to just plug this into the your calculator and you're going to get 36. Okay. But the laws of exponents state this. So when you have this raised to the -2, anytime you do -2, you kind of put it under 1. But since this is under 1 already, you do the reciprocal. So this would be 6 to the power of 1. I mean, 6 over 1 to the power of 2, which is just 36. If find its inverse. So finding its inverse. This is something pretty something we did way at the beginning of the semester. So we had something like this, okay? And what we did is we started off by uh, switching the x and the y's, and then from there we solved for y. So we added 8 to both sides. We take the roots, and we got our new y, which we said would be our inverse, right? So this and this would be inverses to each other. So just kind of remember that you switch x and y, solve. And that would be letter B. Okay. Next one, what do we got here? We got synthetic division. Okay, so synthetic division. Remember, we have a 4 here. We should have 5 terms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means all the numbers are accounted for. So that means we're going to have 1, 2, I don't know what that is. 13, 13, -13, -8. Okay. And we always solve for x here, which would be just 5. Okay. Bring this down, and then we multiply. 5 times 1 is 5. Add, bring it down. That's 15. Add, bring it down. And add, multiply. And we get a remainder of 0. That's actually, this is ideal. This is what we always do. Happens, when we have really nice numbers. We have the right factor, actually. So when we have a good factor, we'll get a remainder of 0. So now what do? Well, we have these numbers. We always start with one less. So if it was x to the 4th that we're starting with, so now 1 is 3, 3x squared plus 2x, and that's it. B. Okay. For the given function f and g, find the indicated composites. All right, so they want you to compose g of f. That means you're going to plug in f into the g. So we write down g first. So we got 5 parentheses plus 3. This is our g. And what we're going to do now is we're going to plug in our f. -4x plus 9. So this becomes -20x, 45, 3, -20x, which is -2. And that's it. Ain't nothing to do. Next one, we're describing the transformations, kind of similar to what we were doing earlier. So we have, okay, so we start off with squared, okay, and then we have negative parentheses and x plus 6 power of. So what's happening here? Okay, so with it. So we noticed that it moved left and then it reflected, right? So let's move this first. So it moved left and then the negative makes it reflect. Left and reflect. Left and reflect. Bada boom, bada bing. 27. 27. Along with income, people's charitable contributions steadily years. Table shows the average deduction of charitable contributions reported on the individual income tax return over 6 years. Find the average rate of change between year 3 and year 5. So we're looking at this one and this one. So we're looking at this number and this number. So we're just going to subtract these two numbers over these two numbers. So I'm not gonna try to mess this up. So I'm gonna use my calculator. 590, and that is the three. Wrote it all the way. 59 over 3. I mean, sorry, 59 over 3. 590 over 3. Um, so I think that gets reduced to roughly. Oh, 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 bus. Back up the bus. Okay, so no. This is a 3 2. Okay, so this is a 3. So I had, okay, all right. That's because it's 5 to 3, right? Yeah. So I just kind of my sometimes when I write my threes and my twos, I don't know if it's me or if it's my pen. Sometimes I press a little button on the side of my little sketch pen that I'm using, and it kind of stops typing or stops writing. So we get 295. All right. Find the slope of the line satisfying the given condition. Okay. So we have these points. Best thing to do is to make it into a table. So from right here is -1. Right here, it is 9 and 7, which is 16. Then this number, and I divide it by this number, which is 16 over -1, which is -16. Almost done, guys. Almost done. Right here, f of 4. F of 4 means I'm just plugging in 4. This would be 5 times 16, 8 minus 2. So 5 times 16 is 80. That's 8 minus 2, which is 86. Find the midpoint. So you get your x's. So I'll do this together. So you get your x's and you add them together, divide by 2. You get your y's, add them together, divide by 2. So this becomes 2 over 2, 0 over 2, 1, 0. Oh. I saw midpoint and I automatically assumed this was, oh my goodness, they were solving for midpoint. We need to find the other. My bad. Back up the bus. Then they were giving us the two endpoints, and we found the midpoint. They're giving us the midpoint and the endpoint. So that means we're going to have 3. I'm sorry. We're going to have x plus 3 over 2. And that has to equal to -1 because that's our x. And then the other one would be y plus 1 over 2. And that has to equal to -1 as well. So then we just have a little process of elimination. We have some algebra that we're going to do. Multiply 2 to both sides. Then subtract 3 to both sides. X equals to -5. Right here, same steps. So then we got y equals -3. There you have it. -5, -3. Bada bing. So what is an algebra test without the king of all formulas? So we need to use formulas. So it would be plus or minus squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. Okay, so this is your A, this is your B, this is your C. I like to put C's around all the letters. This way, when I'm dealing with numbers that have negatives attached to them, I don't confused. Like right here, this has a negative, and right here has a negative. And this way, I don't get confused. So I'm gonna have B would be 8, A will be 4, and C will be 2. Okay? So that means I'm gonna have -8 plus or minus 8 squared is 64. 4 times 4 is 60. It's 16 times 2, which gives us 32 over 8. So then this will become 8 plus or minus. Okay, you see how my pen is just messing up. So let me close this. Okay, so my pen kind of shut down the whole entire program. I had to restart everything. But luckily the video got saved. So we just gotta do the last couple of steps. So we left off right here. This would be square root of 64 minus 32, which is just 32. Okay. We have to rationalize this right here. So two numbers that give me 32 are 16 and 2. Which this would be 4 and 4, which we take out there for us. So that means we're going to have -8 plus or minus 4 square root of 2 over 8. Okay, so here's where a lot of people get confused, right? When they start having to reduce. So what I'm going to tell you to do is just make this into 2 different fractions. Okay, so -8 over 8 is just -1. 4 over 8 would just be half, right? So it's just square root of 2 over 2. So this is equivalent to letter D, because if you look at letter D, it's kind of saying the same thing as this. So it's like saying -2 plus or minus the square root of 2. And I'm going to separate this into 2 separate fractions, right? Kind of like what I did over here. And then -2 over 2 is just -1 minus. So this is equivalent to D. And you just left it as one big fraction. I like to do it like this because it helps my students, well, it helps you guys understand the reduction a little bit. Right, so -8 over 8 is -1. 4 over 8 is just half. Okay, so hopefully that helps. This is the review, guys. Look it over. Make sure you copy these notes down. You do have a review, the same review on your on your assignments, right? So pretty much I helped you on all of them, right? So it should be an easy grade to pick you up, right? It should be an easy 100. So make sure you do it. Make sure you watch this video. Make sure you follow the steps. Make sure you submit the answers, right? Because it's pretty much a free 100. Okay. All right. So I'll see you guys when I see you guys. If I don't get to see you guys before you guys take the final,